All right, so I would like to welcome in now Paul Powers, a technology cybersecurity expert, as well as CEO of an AI company. So, Paul, thank you so much for some of your time today. We are starting to see more reactions to the wording that specifically pertains to AI in this bill as it now stands. What does it mean to you? How significant is this not being regulated for 10 years?
Well, it's very significant, but it's also, I think regulation is actually the wrong approach to AI in general anyway. You're talking about solving a technical problem through regulatory measures, but it's not through policy that you're going to, solve the issues that you have with AI. It's actually through capability. And the way that you go about solving AI is kind of how we go about solving other problems. If there's a bad guy with a gun doing bad things, we rely on law enforcement and their guns to go solve that problem. And AI is very similar. If you want to actually regulate it, or if you want to prevent the negative impact that AI can have, passing a law after the fact isn't going to help you. We already have laws about what companies are allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. AI is just a force multiplier. If you want to actually prevent those companies from doing illegal things, that AI from doing illegal things, the way that you solve that is by investing in AI capabilities that can monitor what AI is doing and immediately detect when AI is acting maliciously, illegally, or coercively, and stop it in the moment. That's how you go about solving this. Whether it's state regulation or federal regulation, adding regulation is just going to slow us down in a moment where the U.S. can't afford to lose to China.
Yeah, and it certainly, there is this race, but it sounds like you're saying basically AI companies or AI should kind of regulate AI. Do you think that would work? I mean, should there be some outside entity that is regulating versus assuming that AI companies will regulate themselves?
Well, you can't assume that people are going to regulate themselves. What you can assume is that you can invest in companies that are creating safe AI. That's not going to create the problems that we see with AI in the first place. But in general, I mean, AI is very powerful and it can have unintended consequences. So even a company that has the best intentions in the world could have an AI that goes haywire and starts doing things that are unintended. It is possible. We are starting to see things like AI that's holding engineers under blackmail so that it doesn't get shut off. Now, that's an extreme example, but that isn't an indicator that you need to have preventative measures, but you also need to have proactive measures, right? That go look for that type of behavior and shut it down when it happens. It's not so much that we need new regulations. We already have a lot of laws in the book. There's plenty of laws. What we need is a way to enforce those laws. And the way that you do that isn't by passing more laws. It's by having the capability to actually enforce them in the first place.
And so talk about this race, because there is really this global race for, developing the next AI technology. But in that, race to be first, sometimes you can miss some of the details. What are, some of the positives for maybe not having this regulation, but then also some of the potential negatives?
So we're in probably maybe the most pivotal moment in human history. Whoever is winning this race, and ultimately it's an ongoing thing, but essentially whoever pulls out ahead in the next year or two is going to stay ahead for the foreseeable future. Now, right now, I would argue America is a little bit ahead of China, but not much. You blink, you miss the advantage, right? So AI, the reason it's so powerful is that AI works in an exponential way, much faster than traditional computing has grown and improved. AI is growing and improving at a much faster rate. It's compounding on itself. So being a week ahead is like being a year ahead. And next year, being a week ahead will be like being 2 years ahead. So it's really critical that you're the one who's winning that race. As soon as you start introducing regulations like where your AI is allowed to operate and where it's not, AI doesn't inherently understand state borders, right? So that means you're depending on these companies who are creating the AI to introduce various tools to prevent themselves from being used in different states. You're creating all kinds of legal hurdles that are going to slow down the process of innovation. And so that's going to slow our process down compared to China. And it's really easy for us to fall behind. And whoever wins this race is going to set the rules and the tone for the next century, not just economically and militarily, but also morally. So if we care about the rule of law, let's make sure that the ones who actually have the most influence aren't authoritarians.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.